everything. How does it feel to be a Guinness World Record holder? And let us know what it is you won it for.
Well, I was just saying to Al, because we talked to him live on the show this morning, I was not even aware that I was going to get a certificate for this. I thought it was just him. But what we did was the longest weather relay with over 50 forecasters from across the country. And we had to basically make sure we were, using weather terminology within every 30 seconds. So there was a little pressure, but we pulled it off and it was great. So we're world record holders, which feels really fun. It does.
Congratulations. But what's not so great is it's feeling really cool today and it's supposed to be summer. What's going
on? I know. This is a struggle as far as numbers go. It's great that you won't need your AC, but we are only in the 60s for highs today, which is where we should be for lows. It almost looks like a fall day. We've got the lake effect cloud cover. We could see a little sprinkle this morning, depending on when you watch this. And then we will see a lot of sunshine this afternoon. So as long as you're dressed for it, it'll be super pleasant to be outside. You can have windows open today. Another cool night. Tomorrow will be in the 70s. And if you're missing where, we usually think of late June is like 80s and warm, we're back to that on Thursday.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, Holly. You have to head over to WTAM virtually to give them the forecast.
Thank you.
So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section. I see everyone watching. We are live on Facebook as well as YouTube. Two big stories that we're talking about this morning. One, both of them sports related. And we're talking about the NBA lottery tonight. Dave will break that down a bit. And then right now, our biggest story that many of you are interacting with is history being made in the NFL. And we do have some Browns connection here. Jasmine, you're on that story. Let everybody know, fill them in all the details.
So Carl Nassib, he used to play for the Browns. Now he's with the Raiders. He officially came out as a gay male who is playing in the NFL. He's the first gay male to come out and say truthfully that he's playing, and he's also gay too as well. So I just wanted to read the comment from the NFL commissioner, because I thought this was truly a strong statement from the NFL. He said, "The NFL is proud of you. Representation matters, and we hope that someday soon statements like this will no longer become newsworthy." And I thought it was just funny because we were covering this story. And, it is such a big story right now. It's trending on Twitter. It's trending on Instagram and Facebook because this is the first person to actually openly come out and say it. He had so much support here locally. He had support from the Raiders organization.
They were put on hold by time. But in Claire's
sorry about that.
There's a video actually posted on WKYC.com, his video of him coming out on Instagram. And I just thought he was, really strong to come out and say that, because oftentimes you get looked at funny if if you're playing any type of sport and coming out to say that you are gay or transgender or whatever, you represent. So proud of him. And he had a lot of support. So I think, Dave, you mentioned 15 years he's been holding this in.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
He said he agonized over doing this and making this announcement for 15 years. So you can imagine the weight lifted off of his shoulders. And there are former NFL players that have come out, but not a current player. So that's what, I think it's about 15 former players after they were done with their NFL career. So, hats off to him. And I mentioned this on the air this morning too. You might remember he was on HBO's Hard Knocks when he was a member of the Browns. Yeah. And he really stood out because he was giving financial advice to his teammates. So a lot of people remember that. So, just a great character guy in the locker room. And, what a story.
He also mentioned that, sometimes when people come out and it's Pride Month, he didn't want people to think that this was a trend or, he's just doing it just to get followers, because often that does happen. but he wanted to mention and make sure that that's not the reason why he did it. He just said that this was the right time to do it.
And he was drafted. We have the story in the comment section, just so you know. He was drafted by the Browns in the 3rd round of the 2016 NFL draft. So that's where his connection to the Browns comes in at. And speaking, you said that he gave financial advice to his teammates. He's also donating $100,000 to the Trevor Project, which helps LGBTQ youth. So again, that's a top story that is trending right now. Actually, if you Google it, you'll see it pop up right there, and we have it all for you. So let us know your thoughts. Shayla Smith, good morning to you joining us. And Shayla, actually, Jasmine, she has a compliment for you. She loves that you're rocking the braids. So thank you, Shayla, for that. And then swing it with that hair like Willow Smith sings. Alrighty, so now we're moving along to the second top story, which is happening today, the Cavs lottery. I have to be honest with you, Dave. Ever since LeBron left, I haven't really been paying much attention to the Cavs. It hasn't really been too exciting. You know, we pay attention. We need to know because we want to make sure that we give you the the news on the Cavs. But boy, that excitement kind of left with LeBron. But could we have some excitement with this draft lottery?
Danielle, to be honest with you, full disclosure, I was kind of surprised that we went with this as topic number 2 because quite frankly, yeah, I mean, it's like, I think I'd rather just sit in a room and chat with Austin for a half hour tonight than watch this thing. But,
you know, how you really feel, Dave.
Yeah. No, all jokes aside, I mean, this is where you have to turn things around, right? This is the only way in the NBA that you can survive and change your luck. And you have to get lucky to change it, because in the NBA, if you don't get like the number 1 pick or the 2nd pick, it's tough really to turn your fortunes around. I mean, you could be in NBA purgatory for 10, 15 years. We've lived it. You know, if it weren't for getting LeBron James and then Kyrie Irving, you know, the Cavaliers would have never won a title. So bottom line with this tonight is it is the NBA draft lottery. It's not the actual draft. This is where you are going to be slated in the draft. So the Cavs are hoping to get lucky here. According to NBA.com, the Cavs have the 5th best odds to get the first overall pick. Their chance is 11.5%. The last time the Cavs won the lottery, 2014. There are 14 teams tonight that are involved in it. So the actual draft itself is July 29th. So I said 11.5% chance to get the number 1 pick. I think their best chances somewhere fall in getting the 4th or 5th pick. They could drop as low as 9. So the lottery really can spin you around. You're not just slated into a spot based on your record because, you know, basically they don't want teams to tank.
Why don't they do that like the NFL? Like the NFL goes, if you suck, you get
right. Hey, Cavs, you suck. You
keep it real.
Whatever. Get the top pick.
It's basically a system designed to make sure that teams don't tank. So if you're really bad, you're not losing games on purpose to get that first pick. I mean, that's the best
that's
quick way to describe it. Yeah. But you still do get your best shot. So, you know, there are 3 teams that have a better shot than the Cavs. And then the Cavs, I think, with Oklahoma City are tied with the 11.5%. So, you know, last year, the Cavs had better odds to get a top pick. And then they ended up getting not such a great pick. So it could go either way for you.
Yeah. Now, Carol Bolden, she says, if you don't have any superstars anymore, you have no chance. We need new stars. That's what she says. Austin, what do you think? You're our resident sports guy too.
I don't know. Whatever. You know, the Cavs are the Cavs. They've been doing this for the past 5 years. You know, there's nothing really exciting about them.
We are keeping it REAL this morning. I love
Absolutely.
it, Austin.
I don't
But you're
know.
the sentiment, pretty much. That is kind of like the sentiment.
That's the Cavs are the Cavs. You know, I don't.
Cavs are the Cavs.
Hey.
I will tell you. I hope they do good. It's more fun for us, you know.
Yeah.
But they since LeBron has left, we still talk about LeBron leaving, and that's about the only exciting thing that we've talked about. And that's about it. So
you know what I thought was funny? Them talking about, game 7 still, like living that out, like LeBron is still here. Like,
Yeah.
We have to hold on to what we can get until the Browns really take off this year. That's what we're hoping for.
No, Jasmine makes a good point though, because on Sunday, Twitter blows up with people throwing out their pick. I didn't do it this year. I did it last year. I'm not going to do it every year. I was at Game 7 when the Cavs won it all, Father's Day 2016. I'll never forget it. But every year on that day, people are going to put out pictures, just like Jasmine said. And hey, I was here on that night. I was there. I can't. Yeah. So but hey, that's part of what goes into winning a championship. Something we've only done one time in our life. For most of us anyway.
Right, me. Well, thank you so much. Make sure if you have any comments on the stories that we covered, you can put them in the comments section. We love hearing from you. And we will see you tomorrow morning starting at 4:30 a.m.